So in this video, I just want us to talk about everything you need to know about pig farming from A to Z. We try as much as possible to cover everything you need to know. So first, you need to decide on the type of pigs you want to start with. And with that, we talk about the breeds. And there are various breeds on the market, which are the Landrace, which is also known as the large white, the Duroc for the fastest growing rate. So after you have decided on the type of pig you want to start, now you have to also decide on the number of pigs you want to start with. Usually we do start with the breeders, which is mainly females. For the male, if you get one, it is enough for you to start as a beginner. So we usually talk about starting with the females. So for the females, it depends on you, the farmer. But usually I will just tell you that if you're starting, start with a manageable number. So you don't get overwhelmed along the way, because pigs, they feed a lot and you need to spend a lot of money in feeding them, which is the major cost. So after you've also decided on the number of pigs you want to start with, now is the number of rooms you need, because it will get to a point one female pig will give birth, another one also give birth, and they need separate rooms to be alone. Because there are some pigs that if you mix them, if one of the piglets from a side goes to the other one, it ends up biting the piglets from the other side. So you need to get rooms for each of them, but at all costs, if you have a boar on your farm, like a male for the mating, you need to get a separate room for the male alone, so that he will stay there comfortably and ready to do his work when the time is due. But for the females, you need to also plan. In all cases, as you are building the pen, I also tell you that you have to get an empty room, which I say the quarantine area, so that in case you get any emergency or you suspect anything in the pigs, you quickly isolate the suspect, take the suspect to that room, monitor him and ensure that the pig is getting well before you reintroduce that particular pig to the rest of the pigs on the farm. And also, maybe you are going to bring a new pig. You need to also keep that pig there for some time to observe. If there are no signs of sicknesses, then you can allow her to mingle, or him to mingle with the rest of the pigs on the farm. So after you have done that, now you have your pigs, you have your pen also ready, number of rooms, everything secured, and you already have the drinkers. That is where the pigs will be drinking from, and the feeders where you deposit feed. Now you need to also observe to see that your female pigs are definitely coming in heat. So if they come on heat also, that is the time you need to introduce them to the male. But before you get to know that your pig is on heat, they show some signs. They show some signs, and we say signs of heat in pigs. And that includes the obvious one that you mostly target is the vulva. That thing behind here, the genital organ, it turns pink. When it is pink, you know that the pig is actually on heat. And sometimes it doesn't turn pink, but the pig will start to mount other pigs in the pen. That the female pig, if you see a female pig trying to mount the other one and also making unnecessary noise, sometimes they start to reduce how they feed. You know that she's in heat. And if it is time for her to be crossed, then you do the necessary thing. And in terms of crossing, if you're not using artificial insemination through maybe a catheter where you insert into the female and then the semen will be hung somewhere, pumped through the pipe and gets to the female, that one you can do it anywhere. But if you're using the male, I always recommend that you allow the female to go to the male for mating. But before you also do that, when the pig comes into heat, usually it lasts for about 4 days. So first day of heat, she's not that in heat. Second day, no. But on the third, fourth day, she's actually in heat, and that's where she makes this kind of aggressive noise that even if you don't take her to the boar, she starts to disturb in the pen. So on the standing heat also, if you back press the back side of it or the top side, if it's standing still, the top side, if you press against it, you see that the pig will be firm and she wouldn't even move. She stands there for you to do whatever you want to do with her. At that point, you know that she's in standing heat. You release her to the boar and then they do the mating. But also, if you take it to the boar, let's say you missed the standing heat or you don't know the standing heat well, and you take it to the boar, you see that she's still resisting, making noise and trying to run away from the male. She's not in the standing heat. So what you can do is now you separate them and ensure that she comes into the standing heat, which is about a day afterwards. She'll be in the standing heat where she will stand firmly for the male to do whatever he wants to do with her. And if you're also mating using the natural way, that is a male and a female to do the mating, you need to ensure that the mating is done in the morning or in the evenings. Hot afternoons can lead to a loss of your boar. Yes, I've made a lot of videos on it, what happened. Like I experimented them and I saw what was happening. If you try to mate your pigs in the afternoon, the male will end up suffering. But the female, she's okay. But the male, she struggled to breathe afterwards and he might end up dying, which you need to take note of. So usually you do it in the morning and then repeat in the evening. If you meet them somewhere around 7 a.m. and then evening around 4:30, 5 p.m., it's okay. Just once, if the mating is done in the morning and then in the evening, it's okay to get a pregnancy for you. So after your pig is also mated, sometimes it gets to a point that the breeding or the mating might be successful, leading to pregnancy. Sometimes to no pregnancy will occur. And if no pregnancy occurs, after you have mated her, you note the date. If the pregnancy is not successful, you see that after 21 days, 21 to 24 days, you see that your female pig will show signs of heat again and tend to be aggressive towards the other pigs, and the vulva side, that the genital, will turn pinkish. That is where you know that the first one was not successful and you need to take her back to the male. But after 21 to 24 days, you don't see anything and she's not calm. The pregnancy is developing and you're okay with it. At that point also, if you have put the pigs in group, like the females, you have put them in group, if you see after 21 days she's not in heat again, it means the pregnancy is developing. And what you need to know is you separate that particular pig that you have just mated and give a separate room to avoid disturbances. Because the more they are in the group, they try to climb each other, especially if they're females. Some will come in heat and they also try to mount the other females. If she is already been crossed or has been mated already and you do that, it means you end up losing the pregnancy. Or if you don't also lose the pregnancy, that is where most of the embryos will start dying, and then you get about 3 piglets from that pregnancy, which is something you don't want to do. At least you should get about 8. So after some time, you see that the sow, now the pregnancy is obvious. You see that it is developing and a whole lot of things are happening, changes. So you monitor that particular sow closely and ensure that she is able to follow gently. So on the day of following also, the gestation, that is the period of pregnancy till she gives birth, we say farrow. So at that point also, it should last about 114 days. But that is not to say every pig is 114 days. That's the average. I have pigs that give birth about 111 days in the gestation. 111 days they give birth. Some also 116 days they give birth. But currently what I have is 113 days, which they use to follow, they give birth. So with your case, let's just say your assuming it is 114 days. So you have to monitor her and start counting. When it gets to that particular stage, you know that your pig is ready to give birth. And I've also made a video about how you calculate the gestation period. Okay, so you need to also go back to the channel if you need to know that and then calculate it. And on the day of following also, you have to be there to assist. That is, if you're able to time her right and you get to know it. Mostly pigs give birth in the evenings or the night. So if you're lucky and maybe yours is giving birth in your presence, maybe daytime, evening, or somewhere, yes, you are still on the farm. If you can provide assistance, you have to be there. So once it gives birth, or once you see the piglet coming out, you try to assist. Yes, you can put on gloves and some maybe rubbers on your arm, and then you can use to assist with the collection of the piglet. There was a time in my farm where I just went to meet the pig, so I just washed quickly. No gloves on my arm, but I just used my naked arm like this to assist. Okay, but with that, you need to make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you don't also use medicated soap, but wash your hand gently and wipe it before you assist in that case to avoid infecting the farrowing mother. You are getting it? Okay. So after that is done, and maybe you're okay, you're able to get all your piglets one after the other. There will be this umbilical cord, that long thing hanging. Sometimes you see that the piglet, whilst they are walking, they try to step on it and they touch their navel side where it is attached. So what you need to do is you need to cut it to ensure that it's hanging. Let's say this is the belly. So it should be hanging about 4 6 inches long, not touching the ground and not also too close to the body. So you just cut it in that size so that it will be hanging. And if you have this iodine solution on your farm, after cutting, just dip it inside and the pig should be okay to walk around. So after you have done that, and let's say you are okay, God has helped you and you have been able to get all your piglets out safely. On the 3rd day, you give iron injection, or we say you administer iron, because when piglets are born, they are born with fewer number of ions in their system. So you need to also boost them, the iron in the system, by giving the injection. So once you give the shot about 1.5 ml to 2 ml on the 3rd day, it will help them to circulate their blood in them very fast. So the little nutrient they sucker and get from the sow, it is able to help them perform better for you. And also, before even giving the iron on the third day, on that very first day that they have been born, you need to ensure that all the piglets have been able to grab the teeth of the sow, and then they have all breastfed themselves and they are okay. That is the colostrum. It's full of it's full of antibodies and a whole lot of nutrients that will help them to perform well. So you do that, and then on the third day you do the iron administration. So after 7 days, you see that the piglet will start getting access to the feed that the sow is eating. You formulate lactating sow's feed and give it to the sow. That is a sow that is in between for the piglet and also for the mother, so that the mother will get everything, and it will end up also going to the piglet when they suckle from her. And even at that point, there will be some piglets that will start taking part of the feed of their mother, and it will also help them because it is a combination of what is for the mother and the piglet. So after you have given the iron shot and the piglets have started eating, that's where we say you prepare creep feed. This creep feed is basically about protein. It's more proteinaceous. If you go to see this creep feed, you might end up eating, if you're not careful. As a human, you might end up taking part of it because it smells good, and the piglet will start taking from that point. So after, there are some iron injections also. You need to always look at the labels. There are some you give the third day and then you repeat on the fifth day, and some to the third day and then you repeat after 21 days. So you need to always look at the labels. So if yours is on the fifth day, so after the first one, which is on the third day, then you repeat it on the fifth day. Otherwise, look at it. If it's on the third day and also in the 21st day, you also repeat it again. That is what you need to do. So always read the labels, you get to know what you're supposed to do. And piglets, we need to wean them. If you're separating the piglet from their mother to be alone, we say we are weaning the piglet, not weaning. We are weaning, wean. You wean the piglet. So once you wean the piglet on the 4th week to about 6 weeks old, you wean them to be on their own. And at that point, that is where you start introducing them to the weaner feed. I've also made a video about how you formulate the weaner feed for your piglet. You can look at it, and I have a guide also that will also take you to know how to formulate weaner feed for your piglet that you have just separated them from their mother to be alone. Even before you introduce them to the weaner feed, that is the first week after weaning them from their mother to live on their own, you also give them deworming. We have the ivermectin. You have to give it to them. It will take care of the parasites they have maybe taken from their mother or the womb of their mother. So if you give them the deworming, it takes care of the worms and the parasites. And your pets will be parasite free. Then they start eating well. Because if you don't do that, and maybe they have already taken eggs of the worms from where their mother was living, the eggs will be in there and then it will hatch. Once it hatches, the piglet will start feeding alright. But you see that the little nutrient they get from the feed they have taken, the worms will end up taking part of it. And instead of them growing, they are rather losing weight. And to get to a point, you will see that obvious in the skin, where the skin will look rough, not looking healthy, and your pig might even end up not eating at all. So you need to deworm them in the first week after you have separated them to be on their own. And also you repeat the deworming after 1 month. For iron, you're already done with iron. You don't need to even give them iron again if you have done all this. Now the rest is about deworming. So after 1 month that you have weaned them, you deworm them. The subsequent months, you deworm them based on your practices. Maybe 1 or 2 months time, you deworm them. So before they even transition to the growing side, and usually with the weaner side, it lasts about 1 month. You need to ensure that they have been able to be eating well, and they take at least 1 kg of feed each day for each piglet for the 30 days, and then you transition them into the growing phase. And then also in the growing phase, usually that one lasts about 3 months. You need to ensure that you have also dewormed them in that period. And if they are not eating or how they used to consume, you see that now you go there, the feed is left, and then the pigs are rolling over the feed. They are not eating and they are just jumping, playing with the feed. You know that they have maybe lost appetite. And then you need to come back and give them the vitamins, multivitamins. Sometimes we inject, sometimes we mix them with the feed and give it to them, or water. And also with the injection, I forgot about one thing. If you're injecting with the iron is into the muscles. So you need to straighten the needle this way, straight, 90 degrees angle, straight into the skin. And then you leave it there in the muscles. But with the ivermectin, which is the deworming, you need to fold the skin this way. Let's say you don't have the expertise in that sense, and it is an emergency, but you don't have any veterinarian to help you. So you just raise down the skin this way, and then you inject the needle right into the skin and deposit it there to take care of the parasite on the skin. But for the multivitamins and the ions and antibiotics, you need to get into the muscle so to get into the blood directly. So what this one also means is that if you give ivermectin or you deworm your pigs and you see blood coming, it means you go to the wrong site. If you deworm, you're not supposed to see blood. It is just in the skin. So here, the top here, there's no blood like that. But once you see blood coming after you have dewormed, that means you got into the muscles, which is not good. It might not work for you. So always ensure that you fold the skin. If they are pregnant, you can easily do it. With time, you get to see that you don't even need to hold the skin, but you can just inject into it at an angle, about 60 degrees angle, and it will get into the skin. You're okay with it. And also, once they have crossed the grower phase, now they are into the finishing stage. That is where you not think about making money. So at that point also, you need to also deworm them in that stage. Usually that one also lasts for about 2 months, but based on the calculation and some assumptions we made on how much it costs to raise a pig from winner to slaughter, if you allow the finishing stage to last 1 month, it's a bit profitable. So let's just assume you're going by the 1 month. So you make sure you deworm them in that stage also for the final. All right, and then your pig should be able to attain at least 90 kg to 100 kg or 120 kg for you in that stage. I know that in 6 months you have this kind of money to make. And also based on where you are located, we do sell the pigs on based on this the weight. So if a kilo of live weight is costing about 27 kg, and you have been able to raise your pig and your pig is weighing 100 kg, you know that you have 2,700 kg for that pig, which is a good investment for you. If you deduct your expenses, medication, feed and water, everything, you know that at least you are a bit profitable in this sense. Otherwise, you adjust your cost. Either you learn to do the vaccination yourself or you find alternative feed source, but not compromising the quality of the feed. Are you getting it? All right. And in this case, some also ask that how do I then get the market for my animals? Usually, that is the first thing I would say if you are starting, you need to go into it. Make sure you know who you want to supply your animals to. But in case you want to take control of the market yourself, you can now implement what I have used over the years to sell my pigs. I have also included it in this guide. You can easily get it in the description, where I can assemble a lot of people and then maybe they all pay like 50 Ghana cedis each. I get 15 people and I slaughter, I distribute the pig to them, I collect my money on the spot, and then we all move. So I'm working on a new project where I will want to involve the community into my operations. So very soon I'm sure I will try to alert you. I'll let you know what is happening, the progress of that particular project. So all you've got to do is just subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. And also I'll just plead with you, after watching this video, just go back and go to Facebook. Join our Facebook page. I was also include the link. You can just tap on it. Go and follow. Please just go and follow. That's just something I request from you. I plead you to just go there and follow Pigversity page. If you go there, you might see Insight for Livestocking, but that name is not holding. Just go by Pigversity. So at Pigversity, you will see the page, the same picture, the same profile picture, and the same things about pig farming, the same description. Just follow that page. And also based on your location, in terms of injection and vaccination, some veterinarians will come there and then they take you between 8 cedis to 15 cedis per animal. So you need to also know this by making friends with other pig farmers that are close to you, and then they will guide you in that sense. And if there's anything you still need to know, I have a lot of books around pig farming, from how to start a pig farm on a budget to feeding to selling of the pigs, and also a kind of feed formula that I used that helped me to also attain 112 kg of weight in 7 months. I've also included all of them on the site. All you can do is just go there, you can download any of them, and you should be fine with your operations. So like I said, just join our Facebook page after this video and you will still follow the same Pigversity.